Section number 1 of Birds, Volume 3, number 5, May 1898. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Color in music. No ladder needs the bird, but skies to situate its wings, nor any leader's grim baton arranges it as it sings. The implements of bliss are few, as Jesus says of him, "Come unto me, the moiety that wafts the cherubim." Emily Dickinson. O music, voice inspired of all our joys and sorrows, for all our hopes and disappointments, to thee we turn for life, for strength and peace. The choristers of nature, the birds, are our teachers. How free, how vital, how unconstrained. The bird drops into song in delicious tones as easily as he drops from the bough through the air to the twig or ground. To learn of the bird has been found to be a truthful means whereby children's attention and interest may be held long enough to absorb the sense of intervals, pitch, notation on the staff, and rhythms. In teaching a child, it is obvious that the desire to learn must be kept widely awake, and heretofore black notes on 5 lines and 4 spaces, with hieroglyphics at the beginning to denote clef, and figures to indicate the rhythm of the notes, have never interested children. But now color in the bird with its egg for a note, telegraph wires for the staff, and swinging the pulsing rhythm instead of beating the time, has charmed children into accomplishment of sight singing and sweet purity of tone. Formerly and by the old method, this was a long and laborious task, barely tolerated by the musical child and disliked by the little soul unawakened thereby to its own silent music. It may be questioned, what is the new method and what is its value? The method is this. In recognizing tone, the finer and more sensitive musician has realized that certain intervals of scale suggested to their minds or reminding them of certain colors. Thus the do, the opening and closing tone of the scale, the foundation and capstone, suggested red, which is the strong, firm color of colors, and on the ethical side, suggested love, which is the beginning and end, the alpha and omega of life. This firmness and strength is easy to recognize in the tune America, where the tonic do is insistent and colors the whole melody. The Star-Spangled Banner and Hail Columbia are other strong examples. The dominant or 5th tone in the scale is clear and pure, which the blue of heaven represents, and so also the quality of aspiration and exaltation is sounded. This is joyously clear in the Palestrina, victory. So to the Easter hymn, the strife is over, the battle done. The median or 3rd of the scale is peaceful and calm, and the color yellow is suggested, with its vital, radiating, sunshiny warmth and comfort. The O, rest in the Lord, from Elijah, exemplifies this quality of restful and peaceful assurance. Of the tones of the dominant chord besides the So, which we have considered, the T or 7th interval is full of irresolution and unrest, crying for completion in the strong and resolute Do. This unrest and yearning suggests the mixed color magenta. The quality is expressed in bits of an old English song entitled Too Late. The insistency of the 7th is felt in the strong measures with the words, "O let us in, O let us in." The Re or 2nd of the scale, which completes the dominant chord, is rousing and expectant, quite in contrast to the eagerness and despair of the 7th. This 2nd is represented by orange, the mixture of red and yellow, between which it stands being equally related to both the expectancy born of trust and rest, which the median expresses, and the rousing hopefulness, which is the outcome of the firm strength and conviction of the Do. As a musical example, Ziegfeld's hymn set to words, "Children of the Heavenly King." In the remaining tones of the subdominant chord, Fa and La, we find Fa, the 4th, has a distinctly leaning tendency, a solemnity which calls forth the direct opposite of the 7th or T, which yearns upward and cannot be otherwise satisfied, while Fa is a downward leaning, a protective and even solemnly grand dependent tone. We hear this in the Dead March in Sol, and the almost stern reproach in the 2 measures of too late, ye cannot enter now. Fa's tonal qualities suggest the protective grain. La, or the 6th tone, is expressive of tender symphony, and unlike Fa, is a variable tone which may turn upward or downward for rest. It is found predominantly in minor music and is represented by the half-morning color of lavender or violet. By the sad sea waves is a good illustration of this gentle wail. While these emotional effects are certainly true, it may be well to remind the reader that when modulation comes in, the character of the tones is necessarily changed. Just as the appearance and impression of an individual will be modified and altered by change of surroundings. Consequently, these effects are strong only in the pure, unmodulated key. In awakening the musical sensibility of the child, we are rescuing it from the probable loss of appreciation for the noble and true and fine. This loss is shown by such as we are pleased with the trash of the popular tunes of the day. Tunes which express nothing worthy of the great gift of expression. Music is life in all its moods and tenses, but we should be sensitive only to which is the expression of the best and most helpful, through the many percepts of sight of the birds, which represent the intervals of the scale of touch, and pasting the little colored disc on the staff of ear, and singing the tones of doe bird, the me bird, the so bird, etc. The child finds the symbols and mechanics of musical notation entrancing instead of tedious. In teaching the rhythms of value of notes, the imagination is called upon in marking off rooms instead of measures, and putting on one or more bird eggs into them, naming them with the time names, and swinging the rhythm with snap tape measure. Agnes Stewart, in charge of classes in color music and assistant teacher of voice in the Mrs. John Vance Cheney School, Steinway Hall, Chicago. End of section 1.